Hello, everybody. Okay, this is the first time I am live streaming, so let me just make sure everything is good. I think it is. Okay. We're here today to make some lunch. So I just want to talk about foundational health while I do so and show you how easy it can be to prep food to work around your life and not work your life around prepping food. So it is currently Monday, and on Mondays, I typically cook lunch, but I don't just cook lunch for the day. I cook lunch for the entire week. So I meal prep lunches on Mondays because that works for me. Maybe that doesn't work for you, but you get the gist of it. If you're making something, you might as well make a lot so that you can then eat it over and over and over again. But for me, I can only do that a couple of days. So I prep typically twice a week just because if I'm eating Monday food on a Friday or Saturday, no. So what we have here is a sweet potato. I like to make my sweet potatoes fresh. Sorry, Molly is causing mayhem. You will hear Molly and Lily and Stella, and who knows what will happen because here we are live. But I have a sweet potato. I like fresh sweet potatoes, so I typically make those each day. It doesn't take long to peel the potato and cut it up, so I just do that. But we also have some broccoli, and then I have a can of chickpeas. And if I have my life together, I like to soak them and make them in the Instant Pot, but this is just so much easier. So honestly, typically I do this. I also have some kale over there. It is soaking in baking soda water to get all of the junk off. But while I cut this, and I am not a professional cutter by any means, so don't judge me because that's not my vibe. I do this because I have to, not because I am good at it. But I don't remember what I was saying now. Prepping. Food. Who knows? But I like a simple meal for lunch. And last week I had sandwiches. If you watch my What I Eat in a Days, you know that I was all about sandwiches last week. This week, I thought about having a sandwich again, but I typically eat things too long and then I'm not interested anymore. So I didn't want to ruin sandwiches for myself. But the whole concept of caring for yourself includes nourishing your body. So for me, this is the hardest part of health, is actually eating consistently and listening to my body and my hunger cues. I will ignore it, or I will ignore it until I'm so hungry that I eat something. Like I just eat a bunch of random stuff and then I'm like, oh, why did I do that? I should have just, made a meal or something. So one thing that I've really been working on lately is to nourish my body and listen to myself when I'm hungry and make sure that I get something to eat. And this isn't from like a stressed place. This is just from like a tender place that I'm like, I want to care for myself. I am tired of pushing my health aside in this way for work or other people or, whatever it may be. Like I am ready to take care of myself. And maybe the food thing is, you got it under control, maybe. And if you do, that is amazing. So happy for you. Maybe it's something else though in your life where you're like, yeah, I just can't get to the gym. I just can't get a workout in because I'm always sacrificing that in the name of something else. And it's like, I get it. But if we don't start to take responsibility for these things for ourselves, especially when we know better, because if you know that you need to, want to, I don't want to say should, but should be doing something and you're not doing it, that's on you to make that happen. And a lot of times we just need to figure out what it looks like to make it something sustainable for us. And for me, meal prepping on a Monday is what makes it sustainable because I am not doing it on a weekend. I am not doing it every single day unless it's a sandwich. It's just not realistic for me. And so I needed to find something that was realistic for myself. Maybe with you, it's a workout. And maybe the workout is you get up and you get the kids breakfast. And as they're eating breakfast in the kitchen, you do some push-ups and some squats and just some curls with some, I don't know, cans of something. Like, you got to figure out what works for you, and you have to make it work. But you have, like, it doesn't matter what it is or exactly how it looks like, especially in the beginning. The only thing that matters is that you actually do it. You commit to yourself, and you commit to the required task, and you do it. Because every single time that you say, I'm going to eat lunch every day this week, I'm going to work out 4 days this week, and you don't do it, you are lying to yourself. And when you consistently lie to yourself, you start to not believe yourself. And when you start to not believe yourself, you're in a heck of a space, because from that place, there is no integrity. And when there's no integrity, you can promise yourself all of these things, but the only thing that you are really doing is creating displeasure in your life, because you're just constantly letting yourself down. You're constantly just getting into a low vibrational and negative space because you can't follow through with that, with that. I think it's back. Can you hear me now? Good. But if you are consistently lying to yourself, you are not in a good space. And I have been there. And I'm sure I will be there sometime again. But once you realize it, once it's brought to your attention, you have to make a change. You have to become a person who follows through with that, with what they promise themselves. I can't talk and aggressively cut these sweet potatoes at the same time. Clearly. And like I said, I'm not the best potato cutter by any stretch of the imagination, but I get it done. Last night we had mahi-mahi for dinner. It was actually quite good. It reminded me a lot of chicken. I'm in a weird space right now with food because part of me wants to do a challenge of some sort, like go vegan for 30 days or something like that. I don't know, only eat whole foods, nothing out of a package for 30 days. Carnivore's off the table, obviously, but I want to do something, but then part of it's I don't want to do something. So I'm not sure. Do you guys have any thoughts or things that you would like to see from me? Maybe a 30-day food challenge. It just can't involve a lot of animal products because I'm not a super fan. Not a super fan. But what I'm going to do is finish cutting these potatoes, crack into those chickpeas, and I'm going to season everything. I keep everything, almost cut my finger. Keep everything super basic. A little bit of oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and from that point, I throw it in the oven. And I love Primal Kitchen dressings, and I use those a ton because they are clean and they are delicious, and it's one less step that I personally have to worry about. So I usually buy those on Amazon because that's where they're cheapest. Whole Foods, they're $1 million. Other grocery stores, they're $1 million. Amazon, you can get a heck of a deal. But I'm going to finish prepping this, which is It's taken me, 10 minutes so far, which is not bad at all. Finished prepping, and then I'm going to throw it in the oven. And we have a little, I don't know, in Western Pennsylvania, we call it a crick, little creek type of situation. Small river, I guess you could say, right down below the house here. It's like a 2-minute walk maybe, and it is so beautiful out today. And so I want to take Lily. I'm charging my phone, and that's like the cord across here. I want to take Lily down to the creek and let her splash around because she absolutely loves that. It's like one of her favorite things to splash around in the water. And then after that, I am getting some sun. I need to embody a lizard and get out and lay in the sun for a little bit. So I'm definitely doing that. But I will let this stuff cook. Moral of the story. Look at my shirt is like not. It's seen better days. This I did not buy it like this. You know, some people buy their shirts like all ripped up and stuff. I did not buy this. It's really old, and I loved it so much that I wore it out completely. Oil. So we have. We have the sweet potatoes here. Give them a little spritz. Spritz them with oil. And then we also have the broccoli and the chickpeas. So this will all cook while I take Lily down to play. And then it'll be ready when I'm back. So this is I'm like a huge proponent of task stacking. So you stack things on top of each other, you know. So it's not necessarily multitasking, but it kind of is, you know. Like I don't need to be here to let the food cook. Obviously, I wouldn't want to travel too far while the oven is on. I'm not going that far, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, we have some pepper. We are a fresh pepper household, which is like once you go fresh pepper, it's so hard to not have fresh pepper. We're over here now, doing some sweet potatoes with pepper. Boom. And then they go in the oven. I hate the one pan is like bigger than they won't both fit on the same shelf, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Frustrating, but not a big deal. Okay, so all that I have left is the kale. Give it a final rinse and a shake. Pop. I don't really want to keep it in here, but this is all we have for now. And so I'm just going to take it off the stems. I don't like the stems, not a fan. That's why I do not buy the bagged kale, because all of the bagged kale has stems in it, and that's just not for me. Mitch is like, no big deal. I'll just eat it. It's fiber. And I'm like, it feels like eating a stick. So the kale will be prepped for the week. The chickpeas will be prepped for a couple of days. I can eat an obsessive amount of chickpeas. So they won't last like a super long time, but a day or two or three, probably, actually. And then sweet potatoes I like to make daily, usually. What else do we have in there? Broccoli. Broccoli will last, it'll last about a week, probably. So that's it, you know? It's just creating a way to work your lifestyle into your life and not make the lifestyle your entire life, because this is a whole other topic, maybe for another day. But the wellness world, I have a video about this. The wellness world has gone off the rails. It has absolutely gone off the rails. Which means that we're going in a bad direction when it comes to wellness, because people have swung so far to one end of the spectrum, to the paranoid, stressed out, worried about everything, health anxiety end of the spectrum. I feel like is where we're at as a collective community. Because we're going to swing back the other way, and it's not going to be good, because I see that like cigarettes are in again. Like people are starting to smoke again because they're just like, fuck it. I don't care anymore. And I totally get it. But I do think it's very important for so many reasons to live a healthy lifestyle. And one way to do that is sustainable is to fit that lifestyle into your life and not create that as your entire life. Because then you can go out into the world, you can live, you can have full experiences. But you always come back to that foundation that you have built. You always come back to that meal prepping, that movement, the good sleep. All of that is always right there that you just settle back into because you've built that foundation. And so I think that's where I'm at with it right now. And I think it's a really good place to be, is just not making it your entire life and going out and living and having full and true and exciting experiences that do not have to involve wellness, but also can at the same time, because, you know, you can go on a crazy hiking trip. And the reason you can do that is because you're so in shape, because you take care of your body. You want to feel good so you can live your life. And a lot of people are just trying to feel good, and like they get stuck in that period at the end. But you want to feel good so you can go out there and do good and be good and experience life in such a good way. So the kale is here. It is ready. I will post a photo and maybe a reel of my lunch. I'm not sure. I will post it somewhere, and I'll share the link down below so that you can see the final product. I'm going to put the mahi on top of this. So we're going to have a little bit of kale, some Caesar Primal Kitchen dressing, chickpeas, sweet potatoes, broccoli, mahi. And it's going to be delicious. It's very nutritious. And that is it, I think. So this is the first live. It took me 18 minutes, and I was talking throughout it. So 18 minutes to prep, no big deal. Not a lot of time at all when you understand benefits. And I promise I'll get the microphone situation figured out. It's my phone. I'm recording on my computer because I don't have enough subscribers yet to record on my phone. I don't know. I'll figure it out though. So I hope this works. I hope that you gain something from this. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. I think I'm going to make this a thing because it's actually quite fun.